Well, hello, Vamps and Vampettes. It's me, Jared Logan. Welcome to Stream of Blood and tonight's episode of Vampires of Pittsburgh, our ongoing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game. I am your host, storyteller, and impresario, Jared Logan, and I am so happy that you could join us again. Vampires of Pittsburgh. Oh, what a long, strange trip it's been. This is Chapter 28 of our ongoing vampire saga. So much has happened. Our characters were pawns of the Camarilla. Then they got their freedom. Now they are leading an army of anarchs, a small army, to try to take back Pittsburgh from the Camarilla and the forces of darkness. Or are they the forces of darkness? See, you often can't tell the difference between heroes and villains in the world of Vampire the Masquerade. And I got to say, the game works exactly the way they say it does on the tin. Because in just our last episode, Miles Vanderbuck embraced a dude and created another vampire. Some might say irresponsibly. So that humanity track, it's in all kinds of trouble. We're going to get into that tonight. Because tonight is going to be a little bit of a downtime episode where our players choose their next mission and deal with some sort of backstory business, that kind of thing. But before we get into all that, I want to wish a very happy birthday to two people. First of all, Humphrey Carr, the incredible player and game master who we often have on Stream of Blood. He is from across the pond in jolly old England. I even think I saw some people on the Discord wondering if he's over in the UK when he's on our show. No, he actually lives here in Los Angeles with a lot of us SOBs, but happy birthday to Humphrey. He is 26. And then I also want to wish a happy birthday to one of our players, who I'm going to bring out right now. He is 23 years young. He just graduated college. He's fresh-faced. He's still on his parents' insurance. He doesn't know what kind of mark he's going to make in the world, but chances are it's going to be in the fictional world of Vampire the Masquerade. Please welcome Ross Bryant, everybody.
God, wow. Buddy. So many new worlds to explore for my young mind. Hey, what's up?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, it's doing good. How are you, Jared?
I'm excellent, man. Thanks for coming to Suck Some Bloods again. What do you got on your lap there? What's your book?
God, have I done this one already? I kind of forget.
You know, it's okay. It's okay. We can do them again. There's a lot to get into. You haven't, I don't think, the Spanish tragedy.
The Spanish tragedy. I don't know. I've got like the 16th and 17th century on the brain lately, I guess. Various points in history where it seemed as though humanity was hanging by a thread.
Right. Sure.
But this year,
and the thread even broke a couple times, I think, in the 17th century.
But this year's The Spanish Tragedy by Thomas Kidd, and it's apparently one of the plays that Hamlet is loosely based on. But the personification of revenge is a character in this play, and so apropos, I think, to what may be occurring over our sessions of late. Revenge is walking around and whispering advice into the. Or consoling a recently killed character, and they're just kind of watching the whole play unfold like a grim Statler and Waldorf.
That's amazing, yeah. And do you think that maybe young Shakespeare was watching it or something and was like, yeah, that's a little broad? The actual personification of revenge.
I should tone that down, make it much longer with a lot more digressions.
I'll give him a name like Iago, but then still basically make him the personification of revenge.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, welcome to Shakespeare Talk, where we take apart Renaissance poets and playwrights. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, revenge is always a cool theme. And your character, Curtis, is sort of taking revenge against his ex-drug dealer in a horrifying way, a torturous way.
Yeah, he's turned him into his own sort of addict to get revenge on him. Except he's of course not getting him addicted to any mortal pharmaceuticals, but rather the vitae of the undead.
The only drug that matters.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that make you feel euphoria, let me bring out your next player. She is a fantastic actress, improviser, voice actor, and role player. Good Lord, is she good at that. You can hear her in The Ghost and Molly McGee, I think is the name of the show that's coming out. And also you can see her on Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet on Apple Plus. Please welcome Ashley Burch, everybody.
Happy birthday, Ross!
Thank
Yay!
you. Yeah. Pew, 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 pew. Happy birthday, Humphrey, wherever you are.
I'm seeing in the chat people saying hashtag eat ass with Deadpool.
Hell yeah.
I
Great.
think
A bunch of dang Zoomers in the chat. Can't get it off their mind.
Are they eating ass next to Deadpool? Like in concert with Deadpool? Are they eating Deadpool's ass?
They've joined him.
They joined.
Yeah. You're probably eating Stewie Griffin's ass. I don't know who these kids like.
Probably a character from American Dad, even. Yeah.
I like the idea that Ross gained 1 year of his life and then he became this person.
Yeah.
You got to love these COVID birthdays, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, let's have everybody stand outside the house and wave and then drive away. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Vote.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, welcome. Ashley, I think that you actually texted me and our secret storyteller Clint this week and said, hey, can my character have a little bit of a tete-a-tete, a little bit of a secret meeting during this session? And I'm pleased to announce I have cleared it with all the players, and that is happening. So I can't wait to see what Jen Brown has planned. Can you give us a hint?
No. Wow.
Okay, that's fine.
We'll see what happens when the conversation starts happening.
Okay, that's okay. You can be a dark secret. I can't wait to see. Let's bring out our third and final player. Good Lord, what a giant among men. Just in terms of playing flight simulators and enjoying GURPS. A giant among GURPS. Just a pleasure to play with, and we're so happy to have him here. Please welcome Thomas Middleditch.
A good evening to you all.
Hello.
A cup of brown.
A cup of delicious brown.
A cup of delicious brown for me.
What do you like in your brown?
I like my brown plain. I like
Really?
my brown.
Classic, plain brown.
Yeah, I just like plain brown.
When I get brown, and I'm picking out bags of brown at the store, I'm talking about coffee. I hope you guys are. I'm always like, I only pick coffees that are from the farthest away they could be. So I'm like, ooh, Papua New Guinea. And then I get that. But if it's like El Salvador, I'm like, that's close.
That's what I was talking about. And happy birthday to you, Ross.
Thank you, Tommy.
How does it feel?
19, huh? Big boy.
God, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah. Dad says he's going to let me borrow the Chevy. It's, yeah. I'm going out for varsity.
Oh, excellent.
Great. So his mind is deteriorating to where he's reliving past glories.
Yes, the past glories.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, you're still stuck in your mind on that Chevy with your hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah, I'm still stuck in that Chevy, throwing the pigskin around. You know, all the stuff I did as a teenager.
While in the Chevy, you were throwing the pigskin around?
He calls jacking off. Jacking off, throwing the pigskin.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's weird because every time you hang out with Ross, he gets like this wistful look in his eye, and he says something like, "Remember when Big Bopper was on the radio and our tennis shoes could take us anywhere?" And we're all like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And he's just fiddling with his championship high school football ring.
Yeah. Thinking about how when me and my friends went and saw that dead body.
Speaking of dead bodies,
a lot that summer.
Yes, we did. Are you guys ready to be dead bodies and play some Vampire the Masquerade?
Yes.
Then let's do it. Okay. So we have a little business to get out of the way before we jump into a scene. Okay. Yes, I'm really excited about all this. Okay. So first of all, I've been telling you guys to give yourselves back a point of willpower each time we start a session, which is, that could be kind of right. I mean, maybe I was kind of house ruling that. But at the beginning of this session, I'm going to use the actual rule I read in the book this week, which is to return a willpower equal to your resolve to your character.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
Oh, that's that's.
I should be
That's-
spending way more.
Yeah. Now, you also get willpower when you kind of work toward your ambition, but nobody really worked toward their ambition last week, which is Jen's is break free from the Camarilla. The Camarilla didn't really come in that much.
No.
Curtis is destroy Pittsburgh's drug trade, no, and Miles is revenge on corporate fat cats. No, but you can grab some quick willpower by doing those things. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, guys. It's time to talk about the humanity of our characters, which we haven't done a lot of in the game. We haven't talked a lot about the humanity, but it's time to really talk about it because everyone has started taking actions that are really endangering their humanity. So here at the beginning of tonight's kind of downtime session, where we take care of our personal plots, we have to talk about our humanity. Curtis and let me say that here's the things that have recently happened that would give you stains on your humanity. One of our chronicle tenets is don't kill when you feed. Both Curtis and Miles have done that recently and gained a stain for that. Blood bonding a mortal, according to the rule book, gives you a stain. Curtis, I don't think you've done 3. You haven't made him take like 3 drinks yet on stream yet, but I think it's very clear that that's your intention, and maybe even that's happened a little bit off camera. So that's an extra stain for Curtis.
Ooh.
Embracing a mortal, in other words, turning a mortal into a vampire, which Miles Vanderbuck did accidentally last time. 2 stains.
Ah,
Yes. 2.
And
okay.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
ask,
my friend.
I'll ask when you've finished handing out stains. I'll ask what it all means. But
I'll
continue.
Yes,
Staining.
I only have a couple more. This is from way back, Jen Brown, but I had to give, if I'm handing out stains, I have to give Jen Brown one. Touchstone damaged.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you got a stain from that. So apologies to our hardcore.
Oh yes, I do have that.
Rule. Oh, you have it. Okay, it's on there. Good.
Mm-hmm.
And don't become one of them is one of our chronicle tenets. Don't become one of them, meaning don't become like kind of those Camarilla fucks that try to manipulate and hurt people. And I'm giving everybody a stain for that because I think that even Jen Brown is sort of being manipulative, trying to control. I mean, trying to control her army of anarchs and making moves that way. And I think Curtis and Miles have definitely taken actions that kind of make them a little bit like the man in some ways.
Yeah.
So that equals 3 stains for Curtis, 4 stains for Miles, and 1 stain for Jen Brown. So here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to make... Oh, do you have any questions, Thomas?
Yes. I want to know what happens when all your stains, when you're beset with stains to max level stain, and I want to know, can you get rid of your stains? Is there a humanity bleach, as it were?
Yes, there is, and you are the person who has lately been most set up to do that because you've been visiting Amy. So when you kind of visit your touchstone, protect them, do things for them, I can erase stains for you. And so I think I'm going to, because you just undertook an entire mission to protect Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. A couple of them.
Oh, but yes. Well, let's say 1 mission, multiple sessions. I see what you mean. Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and take away 1 of your stains. So you've got 3 stains. So look, you now make a remorse roll. We're gonna find out if your vampires are remorseful about what happened or if they've hardened and become more beast-like. By their actions. So you roll the number of empty humanity spaces you have after you filled in, from the right side with stains and then the left side going right is humanity. And then there's a couple empty spaces in the middle. For Miles, that'll be, I think, 1 die. For Curtis, that'll be 1 die. And for Jen Brown, I think that'll also be 1 die for you.
I'm sorry. Is it you fill up the empty spaces with stains, and then the from right to left, and then whatever is remaining is what you roll?
That's right. So if you had 2 empty spaces between your humanity track and your stains, then you'd roll 2 dice.
So mine is full all the way up until humanity until I hit 2 stains. I don't have any empty spaces.
Okay, no problem. You always roll at least 1 die for your
Okay.
remorse. Okay, so everybody's down to 1 die, and now here's what happens: if you fail, your stains go away, but you lose a humanity. If you succeed, your stains just go away.
Okay.
So you're rolling 1 die. Are we ready to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But wait, I need to just wait before we roll. I want to know the context for if you are max stain. What happens if you lose your humanity? Are you become an unplayable character, or are you just more of a vamp than anyone else?
If you lose all of, like, okay, so right now, if you fail your roll, you're going to lose a dot of humanity, right? But all your stains will go away. If eventually your humanity got to 0, you become a white, which is a vampire that is completely controlled by its beast and is a completely feral, like, ravenous monster.
Huh.
Okay.
So hopefully we're able to get to that point with one of the characters at some point, because that feels like an interesting. But here we go. Let's make these vampires pay for their sins. Everybody roll your 1 die for remorse and see how you do. Jen Brown, erase your stains. Miles Vanderbuck, take your humanity down. I think it was at 6. It's now at 5. And Curtis Krieger, you as well, take your humanity down 1. Erase all your stains, but your humanity goes down 1.
Seems fair.
And, you have my permission, and I encourage you to play your character as not a feral monster yet, but a little less human, a little less empathetic, and, in control of his beast, his or her beast.
Yeah.
Do we get to know where everyone's humanity is at, or is that secret?
Yeah, we could. I think we could share that if people are comfortable.
I mean, want to.
Not everybody wants to tell. They don't have to. But. What is your humanity at? What is your humanity at, Ross Bryant, Curtis Krieger?
I lost 1 of mine, so I'm now down to 5 pips.
Oh, okay.
Humanity.
Yeah. Jen Brown, where are you?
I have 8.
Oh, that's right, because Jen Brown is a thin blood. So
I'm very human.
She's still very human. And Miles, I think, is down to 5 as well. Okay. That was our humanity. So humanity, stains, and remorse have been handled. Let me give a very brief recap. Suffice to say that Miles Vanderbuck learned that some cops were kind of snooping around his touchstone, his daughter, Amy Vanderbuck's home, and brought in the Coterie and the Anarchs on this to kind of figure out what was going on through a series of pretty deftly handled investigations. You guys worked together well. You figured out that a band of vampire hunters inside the Pittsburgh Police Department, or like also the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department, several different law enforcement agencies, these people were hunting vampires, cops that hunt vampires, and they had formerly been in the employ of the Camarilla through T.J. Cope, a ghoul you killed in season 1, a Camarilla ghoul you killed in season 1. They were kind of trying to recruit you guys while you were trying to recruit them. They knew that Miles was involved in the vampire wars. They thought that maybe he was the Edward, a good vampire that had been feeding T.J. Cope information. But when you kind of went on a hunt with them, things all went tits up when there was a altercation involving automatic firearms between some of the cops, Jen Brown and Curtis Krieger, and the Anarchs. And meanwhile, Miles caught the quarry of the vampire hunters during this vampire hunt. He caught the vampire they were hunting, who turned out to be just some sort of mortal blood freak. But he fed on him, and then turned one of the cops into a vampire. So I'm going to give out XP.
Ooh.
Yes, XP. This is fun. So, Miles, you already had 2 saved up. I had in my notes, and then you get 4 for this last mission. So that gives you 6. Curtis, you get 4 for the last mission. I think that leaves you at 4.
Okay.
And Jen Brown, I'm giving you 5. I'm giving you 1 extra because you went on the Earn mission to find out about the Earn. So you get a little extra. Now, can we bring up the XP chart? Does anybody want to buy something right now? Do you know what you were looking at or anything like that?
Oh,
Do you need time to think about it?
Depending on what it costs, I might want to buy something real bad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here we go. Okay, so if anybody wants, I know people always go for those disciplines. Those always cost the new level times 5. So if you're going for like level 3 in something, you'd need 15 XP.
Oof.
Yeah. And I think a lot of our stuff is up to 2 or something now. But if you wanted a new discipline that only costs, the level 1 times 5, you'd only need 5 XP to buy like a whole new discipline. Thoughts, anybody, or we can handle that later?
Okay, but new skill disciplines. That's stuff like potence and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
What about a thing within a discipline?
Oh, you mean an extra kind of power within a discipline?
Yes.
Well, it depends. Is it a like a level 3? Is it a level higher than the levels you currently have, or is it on the same level?
Let me see.
For example, Daunt and Awe, I believe. No, that's incorrect. Here, let me get my little sheet.
Let me see.
Yeah, for example, there's a couple. There are like 3 animalism level 3 powers. So if you wanted another power within a level that you already have, it wouldn't. I don't think it would cost quite as much.
I might just bank mine.
That sounds like a good idea, right? Because at some point you're going to need like a bunch to buy, like a new power or maybe a new attribute dot or something like that. Attributes are very expensive, new level times 5.
I'm trying to be discreet about it because if I do get it, I want it to be a surprise. But I've messaged you in the other chat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but they can. But Ashley and Ross can see it.
Don't look, guys.
I'm not looking. I'm looking it up.
Great. I think that you can get that. Wait, no, you maybe can't, Thomas. Thomas wants to secretly do a power purchase right now, and I don't know if he can. Clint, I'm going to have you look that up if you don't mind, Secret Storyteller Clint, and let Thomas know if he can afford it. He currently has 6 XP. Let's move on. We're thinking about all of our
I think I'll bank
purchases.
2. Because with only 4 nuggets to spend, only 4 XP nuggets to spend, I don't know. I don't think I can really get much. Because what's our current level?
Vampires don't really have levels, but yeah, the powers do. Or so whenever it says new level times 5, it means like you've got 3 pips. If you want 4 pips, that'll be 20 XP.
Got it.
Because that'd be 4 times 5.
So it should be more like current pip number times that thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Just a couple more things, and then we're gonna get started in some scenes. Basically, Jen Brown, you were pretty hurt last time. Where is your health at right now?
I've got 1 health left.
Okay, great. Well, I have good news for you. I looked it up, and it turns out that Thin Bloods can heal just like other vampires.
Oh.
They take damage like a human. Okay?
Okay.
So they don't take like half. They don't turn lethal damage into superficial damage and then like half it like a regular vampire. But suffice to say, you can make a rouse check and if it's successful, you can make rouse checks, and then it'll make you hungrier if you fail. But each time you make a rouse check, you can heal a level of damage.
Okay.
So going into tonight's kind of downtime session, do you want to do that?
Well.
Or do you want to just kind of slowly get better, and if some action crops up, you might be standing there with 1 health level?
I just rolled 1. I got it back without getting hungrier. But
okay, great.
I think it's kind of interesting for me to still be injured, maybe.
I think it is
narratively.
I do too. So Jen Brown, you get 1 health level back, but you're still kind of limping around. I think you got riddled with gunfire, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back at Brownsville Hospital, the haven of the vampires. Kind of a dilapidated old state hospital. It's got, the big kind of almost like clock tower-y kind of edifice, huge wings that go off like big dark shadows on either side when you come into the main courtyard. And Jen Brown is currently limping around the hospital. She still has bandages around her, maybe that have been applied. Unlike a regular vampire, she heals a little bit more like a person. I have one other thing to say, which is that I told you last time we did a downtime chapter that there would be a rebellion score.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Your actions draw the attention of other people in the city, right? They draw the attention. So when you do something that draws attention, that
like
score
killing
goes
a
up.
bunch of cops.
Mm-hmm.
Like killing a bunch of cops or making some of them disappear. Yeah. I told you it was at 7. No, I told you it was at 7 last time. I told you when it gets to 9, something bad happens. I'm putting it 9. Something is happening in the city. Someone has noticed you. I'm not going to tell you what or who or what to keep an eye out for, but it goes back to 0, but you've activated something by killing a bunch of cops and making one disappear. And that brings me to
great
this cop that you brought with you. Let's set a scene where everybody's drove back to the Haven that night. You're like all like, jumping, they're Dutch and Smokey are jumping off of their bikes. In the car, you've got this cop. Remember the guy with the mustache and he had the belt with all the clips on it and stuff?
Yeah.
You took him hostage. He's in handcuffs. What are you doing with him? And where is everybody? Miles, do you come back slowly? Because these guys all drove back in a car together. How do you get back to the Haven?
I guess I hoof it.
Okay, so Miles, I'm going to let you arrive whenever you'd like, but probably a little bit after the scene's kind of going here, okay? So
no problem.
I might even cue you. So Curtis and Jen, what are you doing with this guy?
I'm going to have...
He's very conscious. He's sitting in the back of the car watching all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really hurt, right? So I'm still pretty hurt. Yeah. So I think this might be Curtis's call.
Yeah, I think. Curtis is thinking if we take this guy back to the hospital, then we either need to blindfold him so he doesn't know where he's going, or make sure that when he gets there, he either doesn't leave, or when he leaves, he's fully in our power. So first off, and it's just us, just the two of us and him in the car.
I think that Cross would probably be in the car with you. Cross was the guy, I believe, that handcuffed him in the end. And of course, Dutch and Smokey are on their bikes. So great. Cross is with you as well.
I tell Cross to bag him, or at least put something over his eyes.
Okay. Cross gets the trunk open, and he's got all kinds of gear with him and stuff. And he empties out like a bag that would contain like survival supplies or whatever, and he puts it over the guy's head and pulls the little zip cord so that it's tight on the guy's head.
Okay. All right. So there's that. Then I go back, take a circuitous route back to the hospital.
Okay, great. You arrive at the hospital. The other anarchs come running out. You have, I'm going to say, maybe like an hour before dawn now.
Okay.
So you have to decide quickly, where to put your friend Jen Brown, who's like in the back of the car, like just bleeding everywhere. She looks like paler than she normally does.
I mean, is there anything? I mean, as a former soldier, I wonder if there's some sort of like medicine or like first aid that I could offer, even though medicine is not one of my skills.
I think that's reasonable enough. I mean, like, you've seen action. You've probably seen people get wounded. So what I'm going to allow you to roll is this is a great question. Composure, because it's about keeping a cool head, and leadership. And if you can get the more successes you get, the more organized Curtis is in handling all of this.
All right.
And that's where I'm going to put it, because I'm going to introduce complications I'm able to if he doesn't get very many successes.
You said it's an hour until dawn?
I think so. Yeah.
Can Miles make it back on foot in time?
I think so. I think Miles is resourceful.
I'm gonna spend some of that. I'm gonna spend a willpower, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. All right, 2 successes.
Okay. It's a bit of a cluster, but you keep it kind of organized enough, Curtis. You achieve getting people into a secure location with your prisoner. You get Jen into a comfortable place where she can be kind of watched and cared for, and now you're getting rid of another car, and everybody is saying, "Where is Miles?" And nobody knows where Miles is.
Yeah, he just bounced.
Yeah, he just bounced. So, Miles, I think, you know what? I think we should find out where Miles is. Miles, where are you?
I don't know. I guess trying to take the bus. If it's cross town and I'm looking at the sun peeking up over the horizon,
There's so much blood.
Oh yeah, I'm covered in it.
Yeah, probably. But again, you're in a city. I know it's Pittsburgh, but you still might be able to, that's the weird thing about when I lived in New York. Every once in a while, someone covered in blood would walk by you and you go, well, I hope someone deals with that. I have to make my train.
Well, I mean, if it's looking like I can't make it back to the Haven in time, I should look for another place, like an abandoned real estate house. Stay.
Okay. Why don't we give you a survival plus wits roll, and if you get a lot of successes, I'm going to make you very advantageously ensconced. But if you only get a few, you'll just barely make it somewhere.
I got 1.
Okay. I think that Miles is currently in a park with sheets of plywood on top of him from like a construction site near the park.
Oh yeah. All right.
And that is where everybody is.
Son of a bitch. In Miles fully assumes you left him, which you kind of did. Oh. You're like, oh, where'd he go? I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to the hideout. So,
there's also this thing that I do as a storyteller sometimes where I'm just kind of like, and then you're gone, you left, and everybody's like, wait, I didn't.
Yeah.
So you can blame me for that a little bit as well. But at least our friend Miles Vanderbuck didn't get 0 successes and isn't currently burning up in the sun right now. What I will say is that as Miles gets that stuff over him and maybe like an old tarp or something, he can just feel like the heat of the day. And then, by the way, it's like just the barely dawn, like the sun is just barely coming up. But to him, it feels like there's an oven right outside that little tarp. And it's kind of like the brightness is sort of coming in under the crack, and it's like blinding to him, especially at one less pip of humanity. Okay. The sun comes up. It hits noon in the sky, and then it goes down again. Everybody rises from the grave and may make a rouse roll for me. Jen, you may make several if you'd like to heal yourself a little more.
I failed. So
get hungrier, at a point of hunger, but you are awake. And then if you want to heal as well, that'll be more rouse rolls.
I'll maybe try. I'll try. Well, I did it before we started, and I got 1 health back, which is enough for me to communicate with people, right? I'm guessing I'm in a bad way, but I can speak and I can interact.
That's right.
With people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll say I'm at 2 health.
Okay, you're at 2 health. You guys have all made your rouse rolls to awaken. You've seen if you've gotten hungrier. Did Curtis get hungrier?
No.
And did Miles get hungrier?
Yes.
Okay, so people's hunger is going up a little bit. And the second, Jen Brown, that you awaken, suddenly, like, Kenya and Bob and, like, one of the redneck brothers is, like, beside your bed. And Bob is like, are we going to have communion tonight? People are getting, like, pretty hungry.
Yeah. We'll have communion.
All right, who's going to tell Mary?
Have her come here.
Mary is already walking into the room. Jen Brown, where have you been? What happened, child?
A mission went poorly.
I can see that.
Where's Curtis? Where's Miles?
It appears some of your flock have gotten lost in the wood. Curtis, where are you?
I mean, I would like to think that I would not be there. I think I'd be there.
Okay.
Okay, you're walking in.
Yeah, great. Kurt, he's right here. And yeah, Miles hasn't shown up yet.
We can, Mary, will you begin preparing communion? I need to speak to Curtis.
Very well. And as she's walking out, she goes, have we worked toward redeeming another soul with this mission that we went on?
Unfortunately, it didn't go that way.
She walks out.
So after that, I'm like, there is a way it could go that way.
What do you mean?
I mean, we got a hostage right now, and I'm not quite sure what we do with him.
You're saying turn him.
I don't know about you, but wasn't our whole purpose in going out there to try to convince these cops that we were the ones that they could trust so that they could start to run errands for us? Well, they're all gone now except for this guy. So if Mary's looking for someone to redeem, we got a mortal chained to a radiator upstairs.
Are Bob and Kenya still here?
Yeah, and one of the redneck boys. And he's like, why are y'all going on any kind of mission? Look at her. She's all shot to hell. She looks like a goddamn kind. You can't even handle yourself out there. You're leaving us back here and getting her all shot up? This is bullshit.
Could you all give us a few minutes, please?
They leave, but you can tell, like, on all 3 of their faces, there is a look of skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in a place where we can close the door?
Absolutely.
Okay. Curtis, will you close the door, please?
I do so.
This is the conversation I wanted to have.
Oh, really?
You'll have to
We're
excuse
having
him.
it now. I was going to save it for the end, but we can have it now. How should we do this?
This is all news to me. I don't know what the...
Tommy, just go mute, and we'll send you a message when we're ready to have you no longer, when you can hear us again. Is that okay?
You want me to take my headphones off?
Just for a little bit, and then storytelling.
Wow.
What's going on?
Everything I've done. I can't wait, Ashley. I can't
I'm
wait.
RPing. I'm RPing, Thomas.
Oh boy.
I can't
Oh boy.
I'm RPing. Oh God.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so yeah, shut the door and yeah, well, okay, we're alone now. I guess you got to excuse them. Everybody's a little hangry.
Curtis, I've been thinking about what we were doing. We're acting like them. The Camarilla. They all have wants, needs, insane desires. We promise them freedom, but they're also foot soldiers in a war. And I think there are ways with some of them to get into their good favor by letting them do the things that they seem to want to do in ways that are advantageous to us. The rednecks want to make chaos. Let's find a place that chaos needs to happen and send them. Kenya wants to research. Let's find things that need to be researched and have her do it. But there's one person whose freedom, I'm afraid, is going to get us all killed.
Mary?
Miles.
What? Look, I admit he's flying. He can be very aggressive and unpredictable, but who in this group isn't? We've made this whole situation, in the Camarilla, we were always being manipulated. Everybody's always being manipulated. If anything, here we've simplified things. Now we're not fighting for anyone else. Everybody's fighting for survival in their own way.
The difference is Miles doesn't give a shit. Everyone else here, they want to defeat the Camarilla. They believe in the cause, even if their beliefs are insane to some of the other people in the group. He's the only one that doesn't care. Look, I'm in this position because they wanted to kill Miles. The only people that I cared about in this whole fucking thing were you and him. I thought it was the prince, Curtis. I thought it was the prince that was making him act the way he was acting. It's not the prince, it's him. We wouldn't have been out there last night, not like that. We don't even know if our night of hell did anything. We have no news on the Camarilla, no ghouls, nothing. We spent an entire night trying to get his daughter secured, and now I'm laying up in a bed, and I've lost the respect and the trust that I barely had of the people in this group.
If they know about her, then the Camarilla knows about her too. And that means they can always use her to get to him. I admit that. So what do you want to do? You want to take him out?
No, I don't. But it can't keep going like this. And he doesn't listen to me. He listens to you.
All right. I'll talk to him.
I want to say one thing, Curtis, and I apologize for interrupting you guys. That was troubling. Curtis, you are having a lot of trouble, like, listening to her talk, and there are after effects of that weird frenzy you had just, last night. Your eyes, Jen Brown, you notice that his eyes are glowing yellow a little more, and he is acting a little bit more feral, like when he's talking to you. So you're having a little trouble with this conversation, but still, go ahead. Say, make the decision you'd like to say. Okay, bye. Sorry.
If he's unpredictable, yeah, I admit that. The rednecks are unpredictable. Cross is unpredictable.
But I have to have people that I can trust. Right now, that's just you. I can trust you, right, Curtis?
Yeah. You can trust me as far as you're concerned. You're one of the only people here I can trust. But if you're saying that you can trust these other people, Cross, Rhodes, all of them, just because you know how to manipulate them, give them what they want, when they want, just makes me wonder what you're giving me.
Nothing. Curtis, I've got nobody else. In my whole fucking life, I got nobody else. Sabrina's a ghoul now. She's with them. After all this happened, I've only had you and Miles. That's all I've focused on. That's all I've cared about. And now we're here.
You don't have to tell me. I barely had anybody before this. What, you think? I saw your car. I saw your apartment. You want to know why you haven't been to my fucking apartment? Because there fucking isn't one, okay? I didn't have anybody out there. You're the closest thing I've had to a family in years. So don't think it's going to be easy for me to fuck with you or to fuck with him.
I know.
Whatever this is, a life or not, he's saved it. All right?
I know. I'm not saying. Look, okay, here's what it is then. No, wait, Curtis, this is what it is. We've got this group of people. We got a choice. As far as I'm concerned, it's you and it's me and it's him. But when push comes to shove, that might mean us versus the fucking Anarchs and the Camarilla. We don't win that fight. So what do? You tell me what we do. Because I don't want to lose either of you, but I feel like I'm losing him. And honestly, yesterday, in that tree, I was afraid I was losing you too. I don't know what to do.
I don't know anymore.
Mary is suddenly standing behind both of you. It is time to hold communion.
Okay.
It is time.
Great.
She walks out. That was a hell of a conversation. It sounds like it ended with Curtis agreeing to talk to Miles. Is that what we decided on? Okay, I think that I think Jen Brown, you should gain a willpower, and Curtis, you should lose one after that conversation. And I think that I want to check.
Really?
Yeah, I think that Curtis's very small family that he has managed to cobble together is fragmenting. I think that would make you take a little willpower damage. And so that's what I think happens. Jen Brown, on the other hand, you are managing your company, making the hard decisions. I think you would gain one. We can tell Mr. Middleditch that Miles can return to the stream. Oh, sorry. There he is. Hi, Tommy. Hey, Tommy.
Tommy.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. Hey, do you think? I think Miles can make it back the next night, or tonight, the night that we're on. But do you want to arrive during? Does he hurry or does he take his time?
Well, he certainly doesn't want to spend another night under a plywood plank in a park.
That seems wise. So he hurries.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Communion. You're gathered in the operating theater. Mary holds the urn aloft in front of the other vamps, and she says, "Bring forward your offerings." No blood comes forward. There are no bags of blood this time. No one has any. No one has procured any. They all stand and wait.
Bob!
Do you really? In the middle of Mary's sermon?
No.
Bob!
No. This is when I think my eyes cut over to Jen and I'm like,
No one has been working on this. No one has.
I should have. Oh no, all his blood is gone.
Well,
I should have brought that serial killer. But what I was gonna do, like,
don't worry, we got somebody. But
We do have somebody.
Yeah. So I know that, and I'm like, okay, well,
Do we
What
go
if-
hungry tonight?
I look
Are
at you.
there no offerings?
There's an offering.
And I hear that, and I immediately go off to where this guy is handcuffed up.
She said
Yeah,
there was an offering. An offering.
What are they talking about? Like, yeah, there is a lot of whispering. Like, what are they talking about?
Can I lead him back into this room?
You can.
I'm going
lead
to try
him.
to surreptitiously look away, basically. This is not the way I wanted this to go. I'm going to basically try to like act like I'm being pious and just be like, fuck, in my own little corner.
Miles, you walk in during all of this, but you can kind of stand apart and watch what's about to happen. Feel free to intervene or do whatever your character would do at any point. But they bring in this cop that you tangled with the night before. He's all tied up securely. And he's got a gag in his mouth. And you sit him down in front of everybody. And Mary says, "Is this the offering?"
This is what we have.
The anarchs are all looking at him, and they're like licking their lips, except for Kenya, who immediately figures out what's about to happen and is like, and walks out of the room.
Right. Somebody doesn't like to kill.
And so, well, what are you waiting for? And you see Bob on the front row going, "Do it. Do it. Do it."
Is Dylan here?
Dylan, actually, you know what, Miles? You kind of are standing in the back and you kind of look into the corridor behind you and you see Dylan, and she's kind of like, she's in like the uniform of the place where she got the job. And she's kind of like looking into the room to kind of figure out what's going on. And she looks troubled.
I'd like to slyly walk over to her and just sort of say, "This one's not for you, sweetheart," and sort of turn her away and send her down the hallway.
Okay. Be careful. And she walks away.
Too late.
I'm gonna walk over to Curtis if I can. We don't have to kill him, right? You could just bleed him a little. We don't have to kill him, do we?
Smokey goes, "Come on, we gotta eat."
We got a lot of mouths to feed. I mean, I could try to make this a controlled thing and get a lot, but not enough to take him out. Let's give it a shot, shall we? I'm like, yeah.
"Before we do," says Mary, "I would like for Jen Brown to tell us why this man is not worthy of redemption."
Oh, well, there's a way to do both, right?
He is worthy of redemption, Mary. But I have a sea of people in front of me that need to eat. And some people that didn't fulfill their duty to feed them, myself included. So what would you have me do?
Mary starts to kind of twist, and huge horns like tear forward from her head, and you see her eyes becoming goat-like again, and she's like, "Ah!" And she throws the urn toward the ground.
What the fuck?
What's going to happen?
Huh?
Is anybody acting?
Yeah, I'll try to jump and stop it from breaking.
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity plus athletics roll. You need 2 successes.
All right. That's pretty okay for yours truly. Let's see. Oh, a critical success. 8 successes.
Whoa!
That's amazing. Okay. Curtis Krieger definitely like slides under the urn and grabs it, and Mary, like half in like goat form, is like, "Blasphemers!"
And it was like, no.
Blasphemers!
And then I'm just like, no, he can. We've been meditating. We have a report. Like, he can be redeemed. He can be redeemed, and I will redeem him. The fucking the fangs are out, and it's like, I will do it. And can I set the urn down? I set the urn. I set the urn down. I pull the guy. I cut with my K-bar knife. I cut along his arm and begin draining him into the urn.
The anarchs are going nuts. They're like howling. They're whooping. They're like, panting and clawing at their seats.
And then as this is happening, I what else can I do? I cut my own wrist, and I just pull the gag out of his mouth and like pull his hair back, and I'm just like, like, didn't you hear her? It's communion. And just like put my wrist in his mouth, so he's draining out of one wrist and drinking out of the other.
Okay,
2 Vamps and 2 Fs.
Because that's what redemption is, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Turning him, right?
I think so.
Curtis,
this is a survival tactic.
No, it's very interesting. Mary, let's see how Mary does.
See how she reacts to this.
Okay. She doesn't frenzy. She controls her transformation and watches you do this. The guy is like fully dead. Curtis, make 3 rouse rolls.
Oh boy.
And just take 1 hunger regardless. If people are going to be making vamps all the time, I've got to start.
I mean, what else? Okay.
No, I thought that was very unexpected and a lot of fun, but it's going to have consequences, of course.
I failed 1 rouse roll and I gained 1 hunger, or 2 hunger. You said
take 1 automatically and then give me your 3 rouse rolls.
I did, and I failed 1 of the 3.
Okay, so you get 2 more hunger from basically embracing this guy. Oh, and put 2 stains on your sheet. Let's go ahead and lose all the humanity as quickly as we can. The guy is like laying there dead. The anarchs are reaching for the urn. They want it. They're like howling for it. Yeah. You notice something about them, by the way.
The anarchs?
In fact, Curtis, Miles, and Jen, you can all make a roll. And the roll I want you to make is a wits plus occult roll.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Okay.
Are we going to factor in our hunger to this?
You will.
Failed.
1 success.
Okay. Let me see it. 1 success.
They've changed, is all I can tell you. You know, they've changed the anarchs.
That's all you can say? Like in the presence of the urn or in general?
For 1 success, that's all I can say. Something is different about them, but it's also that there's something different about Curtis, Jen Brown. Miles, you've been away a little bit. You haven't been drinking as much, so I don't think that you are quite as enthralled to all of this as the rest of them, but there's something different. And Curtis, you are aware of it. Total failure, Jen Brown. You're still not quite aware of it. You're just like, wow, vampires get crazy when they get hungry.
Okay.
I've been getting free range blood.
Okay,
none
cool.
of this urn stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, getting the suck, and I'm just watching the urn, just like, something is different because I want it so bad. I'm so hungry now.
The urn goes around. Everybody drinks from it.
No,
But Mary does not. She just sits and watches all of you.
I don't drink from it.
Yeah, in fact, Miles, you didn't make any kind of entrance. So if
I'm just
in my
hanging back.
understanding, yeah, you're standing back. They drink from it ravenously, but they do share. They do pass it as they always have. And they all are like, including Curtis.
So do I take some of my that recently gotten hunger down?
You take it down to 0, my friend. You take it down to
gosh.
0. Why? It's a free embrace. What a miracle. And in fact, the dead man.
Eh?
Yeah, the dead man sitting on stage with you suddenly goes, and he has fangs underneath his thick black mustache and his pot belly.
Who plays the Witcher?
Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible or something? Doesn't he
Yeah,
right.
big mustache.
Yeah.
Where he has that thing where he like cocks his biceps.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy to just tweak that a little bit, he's a little shorter and a little bit rounder than good old Henry Cavill, but that's the exact mustache for absolute sure. What did you do? What did you do to me?
Can I
It's not a good scene, and you hear Mary kind of talk out over all of you, and she goes, "You have angels inside you, and you behave like beasts." And she disappears into the shadows.
No, great.
Somebody's upset Mary.
There she goes again. Thought I was doing the good thing, did the bad thing.
I mean, in a way, you did save it, right? I mean, like you had a crowd of hungry people, and you gave them what they wanted.
Yeah,
and
loyalty, right?
the other anarchs actually are now gathering around you and you, Curtis, and you, Jen Brown. Sorry, I think there are fireworks going off in my neighborhood. If anybody can hear that, they are gathering around you, and they're kind of like, it's not patting on the back. It's not sensual in nature, but it's just sort of like awe and worship almost. Like they're like holding you and like grabbing you by the shoulders and like looking you in the eyes like, yes, brother. Yes, brother. Yes. And it's become very intense in the room. What do you do next? And anybody can answer. Miles as well.
We clocked Miles's presence.
You can now if he'll allow it. If he doesn't want to allow it, we can do some sort of stealth roll.
I'm not stealthing. I just am hanging out at the back.
Okay. So yeah, I think I would just like, yes. Am I feeling this too? If I'm like whatever this reverie is, like.
I think that it's up to you. You know, as the player, you let me know.
Yes, brother. Yes. No. Now leave us. Leave us.
And they start to filter out. You know?
I'm gonna take the cop, who is freaking out, I'm assuming.
He is kind of like sitting there like.
Can I try to calm him? And then I'm going to escort him out of the room and try to find Mary.
Yeah, you can. I think that if you want to calm him, it's going to be tough. So I want to roll for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the roll I'd like would be your composure plus a persuasion.
Okay.
Or
Is my
if you'd rather it be streetwise, I would allow that.
Persuasion's better. Is my hunger now also gone?
Your hunger's 0. Yeah, the urn provides 0, takes you down to 0 hunger.
I get 3 successes then.
Oh, very good. Okay, so he stops struggling. He stops like screaming, and he will allow you to lead him somewhere.
Okay.
You want to keep him bound for now, or are you going to let him loose?
I'm going to keep him bound for now, but I'm going to like put my arms around his shoulders, sort of like as I'm your friend kind of thing, and then I'm going to find Mary.
She's not hard to find. She's back in her featureless room where she doesn't even have furniture, sitting on the floor, cross-legged.
Mary?
Jen Brown.
May I approach?
Do as they will.
I'm going to come and sit him down next to me, and I'm going to sit in front of her. What's your name? And I'm going to say that to
Chad. That's his name.
I love it. That's great.
Chad the
Chad.
Vamp.
Chad Mikowski.
Chad King.
Oh, yes, King.
Yes, King.
Drop this king.
Chad, I'm Jen, and this is Mary.
I don't give a fuck who you are. You're demons, and you have damned me to hell. And then he goes and spits blood on Mary's face. And Mary sits there with blood dripping down her face.
Vamps, baby.
Vamps,
Why
baby.
have you brought this man to me? This kindred to me, Jen Brown.
Because I clearly don't know how to redeem people, and I need your help. He needs guidance.
Redemption is a decision that they make. You lead them there, but you do not force them to drink. Literally, you do not force them to drink. You want to
So-
redeem him? Her hands turn into claws. She reaches over to his bonds, and she starts ripping them open.
Okay.
Run from here. Be who you are. Do as you like. He starts backing away. He's waiting for Jen Brown to do something.
I'm going to let him.
He books out of the room.
Can
Yeah, you can take an action, Miles.
is it possible that wherever I am, because what I'd like to be is in my room, suiting up again, not
Mhm.
staying for long. Is it possible I see him running into the night out the window?
I don't see why not.
I'd like to follow him, sir.
And if I see Miles slip away, then I would like to follow Miles.
But I am doing it stealthily.
Okay, so let's see if Miles is stealthier than Curtis. Oh, it is a full PvP session. You're on Vampires of Pittsburgh.
I said, you know.
Miles, you may roll your. I think it's composure plus stealth.
All
And Curtis, you may roll your wits plus awareness.
I have a question, Jared.
You may ask your question.
If a human wants to be turned, do we still get stains?
According to the rule book, yes, you do.
Okay.
I actually gave out a little extra badness there, extra rouse rolls, because I actually could have given extra stains there because you're forcing people. But okay, how did those rolls go?
I only got one success.
I got 3 successes.
Curtis, you may follow Miles as you will.
Okay.
Okay, so this guy heads out and he looks up at where he's at, and he's like looking confused. Let's see how aware he is right now. Okay, not super aware, so he doesn't know that Miles is behind him and that Curtis is behind Miles. You can see that he's looking at all of your cars and trying to make a decision. Do you want to continue to quietly watch him, or do you want to intervene?
I just want to tail him as best I can. So if he starts to get into a car, I want to look for a way that I can also get motorized transportation.
He's kind of feeling at the doors to see if any are unlocked or have keys in them, but it seems like he quickly decides that's not happening. And so now he's literally running out onto the highway and moving along the highway back toward town.
So is Miles.
Okay, great.
And there in the shadows.
Tinker, tailor, soldier, spy.
This guy is like covered in
Vampire
blood.
Taylor.
He's covered in blood. He's got bonds around his wrists that are kind of like now torn and shredded by Mary's claws. And soon he kind of comes into a commercial area, like, and the bright lights of cars are like shining on him, and he's like going, and he's kind of stumbling along in like another car, like, and when he gets into a commercial area, you see that there are a lot of people around. There's just like basically he's walked into one of those plazas that has like a Wendy's, a Taco Bell, a Target, one of those big kind of shopping center plazas. And it's night, but businesses still have people at them, people walking in and out of them. And he's walking through the parking lot. Is
it a quiet place? Like, are there any other people in this?
I would not describe it as quiet. I would describe it as medium populated, meaning that people aren't really paying attention to each other and they're not close to each other, but everywhere you look, there are people. There are people sitting in the Wendy's. There are people coming out of the Target. There are people driving along the rows of the parking lot. So it's not like he's like in a tight restaurant with a bunch of people who can all talk to each other, but there are people everywhere you look. And
if there's a spot, well, I guess it doesn't have to be now. I'm looking for a spot where I could potentially have a conversation with him without anyone noticing. But if that's not the spot now, I'll happily tail him for a little while longer.
I think that if you come up on him now and get him to stop and take notice of you, then you can have that conversation with him. Do you want to intervene? Do you want to stop him now?
Can I get a? I never knew this. Oh yeah, you guys know his name, but I don't know. I don't know that his name's Chad.
No.
Okay. I just sort of I'd like to come out of the shadows and sort of stop him and say, "Looks like you could use a hand."
This is your fault.
I can help
you. Fuck away from me.
I can help you. Listen, lower your damn voice. Relax.
Miles, he's like challenging you like a vampire would. I
would like to lion posture up against him using my. I don't know if you can use potence or presence against other vamps.
You absolutely can.
Okay. If it's awe or daunt or just base presence, I would like to also like.
Yeah, you absolutely.
I'm going to alpha this guy.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is roll your charisma or your resolve. It's your choice. Plus your intimidation, and then add your presence pips as well. And he is going to see how he does. He is probably. Oh, by the way, looking at him, he seems quite pink. But he is acting like a vampire, and you do see his fangs. Okay. How'd you do?
Oh, I rolled so many dice, but I got 4 successes.
Well, that's really good, actually. I mean, that's enough. And so, Miles, tell me what you do, and I'll let you know how he responds. But
if he's just going, I just do that, but way more intense. Like my eyes roll back, fangs are even more intense, and I sort of grab him by the shirt collars and do it right in his face, right into his mouth, even.
And in fact, if I may add one thing, yeah, you're on top of him in like a split second, and when you grab him by the scruff and you push him back, you push him into a parked car, and instantly all the windows in the force hits with like such a weird pressure that all the windows in the car like spider crack.
Then.
Like, yeah, and he's like,
Now, you're going to listen to me, and I'm going to help you, okay? I'm going to help you. You just got to take me to Colton.
Boutel.
Yeah. Because he can help you, too. I'm going to help the both of you. You don't understand, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. Colton will know what to do.
Yes, he will.
Okay. We need a car. Where are we?
We're in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Where are we?
Do you want to give him the location of Yeah, you're in Pittsburgh. You're in a suburb of Pittsburgh. You're in Brownsville. But do you want to tell him exactly where he's at, or?
Oh, I don't know where Colton is. I can assume he could be where I left him, or maybe his vampire brain went back to his house. Because he wasn't given the speech on how to be a vampire. He's just Colton.
He's in the wind. That's it. Where
he's in the wind. So I'm trying to convince this dude to be like, where would he be? We lost track of him, and you need to help me find him, because then I'm going to help you. Basically,
he actually understands you, and he's 100% on board. Your role worked, and you're actually suggesting a course of action to him that makes sense. The issue is like he doesn't know where he's at or how to get you. He's going to take you to Colton's apartment, is what he tells you.
That's great. That's great. Can I teach? Can you teach a man how to get pink?
He is pink.
Oh, great.
He's pink. Like he's acting like a vampire, but he's pink.
Then I get pink myself, and I get a cab, and I just sort of like say to him really intensely, just calm
yourself down, and we'll get through this, okay?
And I'd like to have us both get in the cab and just tell him, just say to this guy, like,
tell him where to go.
He gives him an address inside of Pittsburgh. Curtis Krieger.
Yeah.
Are you watching?
Yeah. So if I notice you guys getting in a taxi, I mean, I can't retcon and say I didn't follow you on foot.
Chaos.
And we're in a zone where there are taxis.
Well, I think that it's reasonable enough for Miles to flip open his phone, use a taxi app, and call one. I mean, that's what I assumed was happening. Also, it is a busy shopping center. It's even possible that a taxi would be there, or a city bus or something. But I'm gonna rule that it's a taxi app. Miles used a taxi app.
Okay, so it's like
so you see him and the guy waiting there for a moment, and very quickly, within 2 minutes, a taxi pulls up.
Okay.
They're getting in and they're riding away.
Fuck it. I'm bestial.
Yeah.
As the taxi pulls up, I dash up and grab onto the bumper. Boom! It's the full wild animal like suddenly comes out of the tree line, is like
okay. So there's no way you don't. Yeah. There's no way you don't notice this, Miles. It's a brightly lit plaza. People are stopping as they walk out of the Target and noticing this guy has just grabbed onto the bumper with incredible force. Now, Curtis, you don't have potence powers, but you do have claws.
Yes, I do.
So your claws have like latched into this, and if it's okay, I'm going to ask you to make a rouse roll as well.
Seems like the thing to do.
To sprout your claws, and you've kind of done it almost, instinctually, like trying to catch your prey before it gets away.
Yes.
And Miles, you and Chad look back
around, and I see Curtis in the through the rear window. Right?
That's right.
Curtis,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Okay, well, this to me feeds into what Miles's narrative of you guys are.
And this is feeding into my narrative of like, I'm just making everything more dangerous for everyone. What the hell is going on?
Honk, honk. The cabbie is honking his horn.
I say, drive.
He's like, hey, hold on. Let me handle this. He puts his head out the window and goes, motherfucker, let go of my fucking car right fucking now. And Curtis, I want you to make a willpower roll to resist.
Oh, God.
Let me take a sip of my moonshine.
Curtis.
So I'm rolling my remaining willpower?
Considering the situation, what is your remaining willpower?
2.
Curtis, roll 1 die. This situation is exactly what you and Jen were fighting about. You're having weird effects from something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Roll 1 die.
Failure.
Curtis frenzies. Curtis, you've already been taking on bestial traits. I said mostly your eyes going yellow. Curtis, now you wolf out like in a way that people on the street are screaming. People walking out of this target are screaming because your face has become like beast-like, and you attack the cabbie. Make an attack.
So he's like, get off my cab, motherfucker. And it's like, God.
Okay.
So I'm making an attack roll.
I want an attack roll.
Could that be like Dex grapple or?
That sounds right.
Okay. I'm still 0 hunger. 4 successes.
Curtis jumps up onto the cab, crawls along it like a cat, takes his clawed hand, smashes it into the cabbie's head that's hanging out of the window, and pulls off most of the cabbie's face. The cabbie's exposed skull, and there's an eyeball trailing Curtis's claws. Gore is spraying out of the cabbie's face. And he sort of slumps and starts to go into shock. What's everybody going to do this turn? Miles, what are you going to do this turn?
Okay. It's pandemonium in this parking lot, I imagine, right?
That's correct.
And we're walking distance from our hospital.
That's
haven?
correct. I'd say about 10 minutes walking.
Fuck.
Okay. I'd like to. I still like Curtis. I think what I'd like to do is I get out of the cab, scoot along the fucking hood of or around back, grab Curtis by the lapels and say,
calm down and get in the fucking car.
And then basically shove him into the passenger's shotgun seat as much as I can do this as within this turn. Yank the dead body out of the fucking cabbie and drive away.
Well,
that's what I want to do.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for outlining all of your actions. We're going to let you start with 1.
Okay.
You're going to get out of the cab and be screaming at Curtis, calm down, get in the cab, calm down, get in the cab. I can tell you that Chad King it looks like he's trying to reach up to where the cabbie is. That's all I can tell you. So I want a roll from Miles to the movement is free, and you make a roll to try to calm Curtis down.
Yeah, what you need?
You're in full frenzy. What do you do as a frenzying vampire?
Cool. So is that on me, or is there like a specific way that affects? I'm frenzy. I'm not myself. I'm full beast man.
Yes, you're in full beast mode.
So I just ripped off a man's. So I'm just ripped off half of a guy's head, and so that happened.
Yeah, it's tough to come to terms with, but now you need to choose your next awful thing you're going to do. I can decide if you do.
No, so I swing over to the other side of the car, to the passenger side, and I claws and frenzying out. I like this move. So you just from the inside, you just see the 2 claws like on either side of the window, and then Curtis's head all gnarled out and just knotted with veins and fur comes headbutting through the window, and it's just upside down,
window.
upside down, and smiling in the
Great.
passenger side.
Okay. So Miles, let's have your roll to calm him down. And that's going to be a composure plus, I'm going to say you can use leadership or persuasion.
I would like to use persuasion, and if I may, I'd like to use awe to add my presence rating to their to my persuasion or performance check.
I'll allow that. Curtis, I'm just going to have you make your attack on the car. And I'm going to have you do that with a strength plus brawl roll. But if Miles gets more successes than you do, then he's going to make you pause. Is that fair?
That's fair.
It was persuasion plus what?
I said composure.
Okay, great. And Verfilm. Ooh, I like that. 4 successes.
You beat me.
Okay, so Miles, Curtis is on top of the car. People are screaming and running. Like, you already see like red and blue lights like on the other side of the parking lot. And you're like, Curtis, like, tell me what you say to him.
I try to, well, I guess I'm not using the presence in a super aggressive manner. I'm just using it in kind of like a sort of like a little tilt of vamp magic.
Right. He sees his good friend Miles.
Yeah, I say, buddy, calm down. You got 5 fucking seconds to get the cab.
And this works on me then because of that?
I said that you were pausing. Let's just see what Chad did. What Chad is doing is he's climbing up into the driver's seat and pushing the driver to the side. There's blood everywhere inside the cab, but he's kind of climbing over the seat and trying to get into the driver's seat. I think that it can work if you'd like, Curtis. So what do? Or it can not work if you don't want it to. But regardless, I had him make you pause with that moment.
All right. I get into I just like slither through the window and in the I'm in the passenger seat of the car. See, this is what happens when you leave your dog at home. You go,
I think going along the highway right now. Ruby is running after you. Yeah, Ruby is she's somewhere far away. She's like out along the highway.
Not in traffic. Okay.
She'll be all right.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't hurt a dog without her master there to defend her.
If everyone's in and that cab driver's out, I hop in and pedal to the metal and out of there.
Miles, Curtis, Chad King, and the dead body of a cabbie drive off. And as you are careening through the streets, the cabbie had the radio on, and there's a news story coming out over the station. It's like, police are still looking into the whereabouts of 4 missing Pittsburgh area law enforcement personnel. And like, so it's all over the news that these guys are missing. But you're on your way to a rendezvous with one of them. I'm going to leave that party for a moment.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Which gives Miles time to decide what he's going to say to Curtis to make all of this make sense. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Jen Brown.
Oh, I'm getting fireworks.
I would too as well.
Well, happy Vampire episode 28, everybody. So Jen Brown, this was supposed to be a downtime episode.
It sure was.
Where we kind of work on some of the things we've been working on. I'm going to leave it up to you. You know, I like to go with the flow. If you wanted to kind of make some moves, that kind of are catty cornered all this stuff that's going on, absolutely, you're allowed. Or if you would like to work on some of your plots and projects, you may do that as well.
Well, I feel like I need to, obviously I don't know any of this is happening. So I feel like I would address the blood situation, which I believe blood committee was Bob and Kenya, was it not?
And Miles.
Yeah. But I think actually I put Kenya on research. Huh.
You did. So Bob was left to do it on his own. And last time you were back at the Haven talking to everybody, he kept begging you guys to like go look into Derek at UPMC, like look into the blood banks, and you were like, no, find it. Well, he didn't. So you can reprimand him for it. You can. I mean, it's up to you. How do you react? What are you going to do about the situation?
I'm going to try to just talk to Bob.
You find him, and he's kind of in his room where he has like set up like 20 like extension cords to go out to the generator you're all using, so he can like watch a little like old TV, and he's like flipping through like the regular cable channels, and
He's watching Impractical Jokers on True TV.
yeah, he is. Yes, that's exactly what he's watching.
Love these guys.
I'm gonna.
I want my mommy. Seen the intro.
I'm gonna knock on the door frame. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I'm gonna walk in and take a seat across from him.
Okay, I guess I can watch this one when they rerun it later. And he clicks off the TV. Can I help you?
So what happened?
I told you.
I'm not here to yell at you. I get you were doing it by yourself. I want to know what happened. You couldn't find anything. What happened? What did you try to do? Why didn't it work?
I've been setting traps for animals. But I didn't catch anything, and I don't know how to trap animals, okay? I was data entry before this.
Okay.
So maybe I'm not the best blood hunter, okay? I told you my idea. We need to get the pipeline from the hospital working again. But you wouldn't listen.
How would we do that, Bob, without the exact same thing that happened to Erasmus and all of you guys happen again?
Okay. I get it. I'm failing the movement.
Bob, I don't look.
Maybe you all would be better off without Bob, huh?
You're putting words in my mouth, Bob. I know I gave you a task, a very important task. You're doing it on your own. It's not fair. I'm not saying your idea is bad. I just don't know how to make it work where it doesn't end up in the exact same way that it happened before. If you have an idea of how to prevent that, I'm open to hearing it.
Well, maybe they wouldn't expect us to do the same thing again because it's so stupid.
I don't really want to bank on that. Look, data entry. What does that mean? What did you do? What was your job like?
Oh, I was in charge of different spreadsheets that kind of kept track of, well, logistical zones of improvement where we were trying to implement growth in various cross-sector, areas of development.
So, okay, Ashley has a question. I'm wondering if there's some way that I can use Bob's data entry skill. Like if Jen was able to get into like the computer systems of a hospital, could he change where things are supposed to go? Is there like a thing where like...
Oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? Do you want to ask him that?
Sure.
Yeah, probably.
And make it...
I mean, it depends on what software they're using, you know? Because I'm proficient in, Microsoft products. But if they're running some sort of Linux system, that's not going to work for me.
Could you learn a Linux system?
I mean, I could try.
The close-up of Bob.
Dylan knocks on the door.
I want you to. I'm going to set up a back channel for you, okay? And we're going to find out what kind of system they use. And if it's Linux, I'd like for you to learn it. Does that sound fair?
Fine, sure.
Okay,
Yes.
I can help you.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you, Jen.
thanks, Bob. I'm going to turn around and walk toward. Hey,
What
Dylan.
was happening earlier when we were feeding? What was that?
It's an excellent question, Bob. And then I'm going to walk toward Dylan.
She's like, I don't know what's happening, but I think I'm ready to approach that woman, the ghoul.
Okay,
Like, you want to set up a meet?
great. Yeah, we do.
So how should I approach? Like, what should I say to her?
How friendly are you with her right now?
We're friends. I mean, for real, I think.
Okay. Would it be weird to ask her to go to a bar, something like that?
No.
Meet up? How old is she?
I mean, older than me.
By how much?
My boss. I don't know, like 6 years, 7.
So if I don't know, if you invited her to some sort of get together, off the grid camping trip type of thing, drinking in the woods, would she conceivably go?
I don't know. Like, they kind of keep her there. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I thought of her.
Right.
She sort of belongs to them. But she'd probably go to a bar. You want me to just invite her to a bar without telling her what it's about?
Do I know if there are any bars that would be safe for all of us to meet at that aren't in Camarilla territory? That you know what I mean?
You can make a intelligence plus politics roll.
Not that any of this is going to matter once this other plotline resolves.
It's interesting. Will it or will it not? I'm allowing you to follow the thread if you'd like, but you can also actually, the player could go, I don't have time right now, Dylan, and go do something else. It's completely fine.
Well, I mean, I guess do I know that that Curtis and Miles are even gone? Because Miles stealthed away and then Curtis just followed him. So yeah.
Know that they are gone.
Okay.
Is Jen Brown still James Brown?
No. That would be very funny though if we had just never. Yeah, no, I changed back.
Okay.
Yeah, then I think I went right to Bob, and I haven't thought to look for Curtis or Miles yet. I think so. I think I would just be continuing on this thread. So I what was the roll? I'm sorry.
If you give me an intelligence plus politics roll, I'll allow you to find a perfect neutral territory and set up the meet in an advantageous way for you. But I just wanted a couple details about how you're recruiting a mole in an enemy organization. You're doing spy stuff. Mm-hmm. So you need to tell. I needed a little bit of information on how you wanted to do it. But we can also allow you to roll so that your character doesn't bungle into like some mistake, right?
Well, my thought was that Dylan would set up a meet, and then we would kind of interface about how we would approach, like that. She wouldn't meet her alone. It would be at night, I assume, right? So
yeah, that's great. I mean, Dylan can just kind of ask her to come out to a bar, and you guys can kind of show up there as well. And
to decompress after work.
Yeah, and if you give me this intelligence plus politics roll, you'll make sure that it's in neutral territory, that it's a place where you guys can have some time and be kind of in control of the situation, the exits, all of that stuff.
3 successes.
Great. So you give her thorough instructions to invite her to this bar called the Bumblebee. It's black and yellow are the Pittsburgh colors, and so there's this bar called the Bumblebee, and it's a little bit on the north side of town, and it's outside of any kind of known territories of Camarilla people. It's not like down in the Southside Boys turf or anything like that. So she's going to go off and do that. Jen Brown, completely ignorant of what's happening with your companions. Is there anything else you'd like to work on or do?
I guess I could try to bungle my way into finding out what's maybe once I'm done with Dylan, I've talked to Bob. Maybe I'm moving out into the hospital and I notice that I assume people are like milling around and stuff, and maybe I notice that I don't see Curtis or Miles.
I think that's very reasonable.
I'm going to maybe I'll go up to someone and ask them like, have you seen Curtis or Miles recently?
To
the closest person to me, Kenya. Maybe?
Yeah, it's Kenya, and she says, I think I saw Curtis running out of here 20, 30 minutes ago.
Thanks. And then I'm going to walk into a nearby room and try to call him.
Meanwhile, a cab is hurtling down the highway with Chad King, newly created vampire. He's taking you to Colton Botel's apartment, but he looks at you, Miles, and he goes, "Are we still going to the same place?"
You know what, Jared? I wasn't planning on this, but I want a private conversation with Ross now.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Miss Burch. We'll wave at you when it's time to come back.
Oh, God, a war over innocent little Curtis's soul. Innocent.
Yeah. I say to Chad,
I'm not sure. Just sit tight there for a second. And if you're hungry, you better eat up while it's still fresh.
He's literally taking his hand and taking because the guy's not dead. The guy's not dead. The guy's like in shock, like dying on the side.
Oh,
he's like, yeah, and he's like in between Curtis and him, this body of this like cabbie who's like in shock, and Chad can't help himself. He's like taking big like while he drives.
Oh, Chad's driving.
Chad's driving.
Okay, and it's me and
eat and run.
You're the only one in the back seat. The body of the cabbie is up front, kind of laying there, and Curtis said he got into the passenger seat. I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, would that have made sense if he shoved the body over there and he crawled into the front?
Here, I'm rolling a die, and tell me, is it over 6 or under?
That die?
Mm-hmm.
That's under 6.
That's wrong. So it's where everybody is where I said they are.
Okay.
I mean, do you really want to get into seating?
Well, I mean, it just is okay. I'm going to have this conversation with the fucking tech. That puts me in a cool position of power. All right. Okay.
Well,
it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Make it work.
I say.
And bear in mind that because I've frenzied, I'm just refreshing my own memory here. That my sort of like wolfed out thing, I'm that way for the rest of the night.
Okay, I'll work with this. You know what I do? I grab the fucking plexiglass and rip it out, take out my little sword, or if this is just maybe an Uber or something, I don't know. Maybe I rip it out, grab the sword.
You rip out plexiglass. I like that.
Yeah, and hold this and grab Curtis from behind and just hold him still with my sword up against his
fucking throat. I say, listen to me, goddammit. Why the hell are you here?
Now my intelligence is down, right? So I'm just like, but it's like, why are you here? Why weren't you with us last night?
Because I was being used as bait in these fucking cops' scheme. I had to fight my way out, and I didn't see you guys waiting for me at the end.
And I grabbed the dead cabbie driver's wrist and shove it in Curtis's mouth, forcing him to eat and say,
calm the fuck down.
I want him to like slurp and get calm, baby. Slurp and get calm.
Good.
At 0 hunger, Curtis, it's up to you what you do with that.
Yeah, I'm not hungry. I'm just like, Argh. I'm just like,
I throw it away then.
Give it
just taste his skin, weirdo.
There's blood there. No. I was just tasting his skin. Yum, yum, yum.
Salty.
All right.
So,
This poor tabby's body has been fed on a bit by the vampires in the car.
Okay, if there's nothing there, okay, that's fine. I
we
can't.
were ambushed last night. They were shooting us from the trees, man. We had something to do with you.
You think I had something to do with that? Buddy, Curtis, it's me. It's Miles. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this just as much as you are. But now I'm wondering, why the hell you're here?
I'm starting to wonder why the hell you're here. We're trying to get these people on our side. We have to do things other than just protect your daughter.
What'd you fucking say?
I said, you heard me. We're in this together. We're family.
What do you want out of this, man? Out of this whole thing? Out of you being some goddamn vampire? What do you want out of it?
What do I want out of it? I didn't ask for this. I want to stay alive. I want you to stay alive.
Curtis, neither did I, but here we are. And if I'm not going to do something with it, then it's a goddamn waste. You know, you left the goddamn Camarillo to do what? Take orders from someone else? From Jen Brown? From goddamn Mary? Who are you, man? I thought you were one of us. I thought you were a free thinker. And here you are growling at me and telling me to calm down. And where the hell am I? I'm doing what I do, baby.
You're bringing the world down on us.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I put my the sword against his throat and draw a little blood or congealed goo.
Well, no, a little blood would come out.
Just a little bit. I just put it there. I say, I'm not bringing the world, and I'm not. You know.
Okay, so you cut my throat?
Just a little bit. Just a little.
Chad says, gotta kind of make a decision about where we're going.
I know, but I can't decide if I can trust this guy because whenever I want to do something, it's Curtis or it's Jen breathing down my neck like they don't goddamn trust me. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell these two are up to because here I was just tailing you. And this guy comes out of nowhere. I'm trying to fix things.
What are you trying to fix? Tell me what you're trying to do.
Why is this cop? I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to fix the same thing you did. Or were you not there when you cut this man's throat and filled him with your own blood? You act all high and mighty, like you guys are doing the right thing, but you're just the same as me. Don't you get it?
What?
Jen Brown's pulling your strings. Mary's pulling your strings.
Doing this to keep the trust of the group. The group needs to feed. Why are you doing this, running off on your own?
I don't have to answer to you, Curtis. That's the thing you don't get. You're not my boss. I don't have to answer to you or Jen or Mary or anybody. Quicker you realize that, the better.
You don't. But there are things that you can do that are going to come back on us. If you go out in public and chop someone up with a sword, then the cops of the whole city are going to know we exist and come after you.
Kind of like ripping off a taxi driver's face in the middle of a fucking mall parking lot.
I'm sorry, I wasn't in control of myself.
Yeah, well, that's why you're a vampire, Curtis. Don't you get it?
Chad stops the car. He looks at the two of you and he looks at Curtis and he goes, you gotta decide. Are you one of the good vampires or one of the bad ones? Are you with me in the Edward?
Yeah, Curtis.
Oh, okay. Well, this is what Curtis wanted the whole time, was to tell these people that was it. Like, of course we're with the Edward. Don't you get it, man? And then it's like the full gnarly dragon face, just like, we're the good guys.
Whoa! What? I want to roll insight on that. What was that twist? I gotta roll insight.
You can roll it. I mean,
I'm trying to convince him.
Yeah, you're trying to convince. Yeah, but
go ahead, roll. Yeah, go ahead.
You guys consistently thwart me. And so now you're backing me up on the Edward.
Wits plus insight right now.
I want to know. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I want to know.
Great.
Wits plus insight. Okay, my chances of getting this are actually very low, but I would like to know if I just want to try and see if Curtis is using me. If he's trying to manipulate Chad, if he's being earnest or something. I don't know. Maybe that's not even a right thing.
I think that's fair. I think that what will happen, Miles, is that you're going to roll right now, and Curtis, if he wants to, can roll subterfuge, or he can just accept your roll. But basically, he has to tell you what his real intention is.
I only rolled 1, so it's probably up to you.
Subterfuge, just subterfuge.
No, you can add
I
your
don't have that.
I don't want to smell if something's fishy. That's
I don't have. You have even less right now because you are.
Yeah, I have none of that. I think great. I mean, this may be like a players getting on the same page sort of thing, but I'm like, I don't know. Here's Ross, the player, walking through these steps. We found out that there was a cop who was working with TJ Cope, so that those cops believed that they were being fed information by a good vampire. They weren't. They were being fed information by a Camarilla stooge, TJ Cope. Ergo, the Camarilla was using TJ to manipulate the cops to do their work the day shift. So from Curtis's mind, piecing that together is like, great, let's become that to those people so that we can have some day walkers out there doing stuff for us. And that was precisely the reason why we went out there to do all this stuff. And when it went all to hell, it was like, oh no. So yes, I very much sincerely want to be working with this guy. And if there's a way that this guy is maybe a more reliable source if there anybody left in the police station that could be worked with, sure.
And Curtis tells you all that basically with like some kind of like I'm telling you the truth.
Then okay.
To know your reasoning, right? It's good to know the player's reasoning. So it sounds like he's on the level.
Then we might not be on such opposing sides. But the question is, are you and Jen and the rest of the Anarchs going to stop babysitting me when everybody in that fucking hospital is guilty of every single thing I've done?
We've all done
including
things.
You, Curtis.
We've all done things, and you don't know all the things I've done.
Exactly.
It's not a question of ends. It's a question of means. We got to be ruthless, but we got to be smart.
But you don't see me grabbing the back of a car you're in, trying to stop you. You don't see me dressing you down in the middle of a fucking vampire council.
Have I ever put you in danger? Have I ever put you in danger? Did I ever smash an urn in front of a whole group of people who would have pounced on us?
20 minutes ago.
Have I ever fed on
20 minutes ago.
All right, guys, make a wits plus awareness roll.
Yeah. I'm like, Curtis is like, I've never put you in danger, goddammit.
You did.
Make a wits plus awareness roll.
Yeah.
Constantly put me in danger. Jen Brown in the van when I'm meeting the Edwards. When I am the Edwards, 1 success.
3 successes.
Curtis, you guys noticed that Chad King has left the vehicle quietly and is now running, toward, an apartment building nearby.
I say, congratulations, Curtis. You fixed another situation that I just was about to fuck up.
And then I get out of the car and run after the guy.
Cool.
Great. You see him wait, and someone comes out of the apartment building and he grabs the door before it shuts again, and he's going in. And are you guys running up to him?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, he's like,
I follow.
He starts to stop Curtis and looks at Miles and he goes, "He's cool."
I turn to Curtis and say, "Are you cool?"
I've put my hood. I've got a hooded sweatshirt. I put my hood up. Flashback to me buying a hooded sweatshirt. I put it on. I'm just like, as ice.
You go to the elevator. He taps floor 3. You go up to the top, to the 3rd floor. He goes down a hallway, and you come to a depressing 3rd floor apartment, 3R. And he knocks on the door, and he's like, Colton? Colton, it's King. He tries the handle, and the door comes open. There's a smell from the apartment. Not decaying flesh. Something burnt.
Oh.
You guys enter the apartment
Oh,
of
dear.
Colton Boutel.
Mm-hmm.
You get into the small, depressing cop living room. Guy that lives alone, probably divorced or something.
Yeah, those people suck. Oh.
Yeah, he's an asshole. People who are divorced, they don't deserve to live.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Just joking, guys. Of course,
Just walls.
It's
Just
the
walls.
best for most people that go through it. Okay. But this guy, well, let me put it this way. It looks like he didn't land on his feet from whatever happened to him in his past, okay? And he didn't land on his feet from being turned into a vampire either, because in the chair in the living room is a burnt husk of a person, completely charred all through his clothes and arms, kind of cracked open and just emanating the smell of burnt flesh. And one on the opposite wall, beside the television, there's a big window, and it looks like the curtains and everything have been kind of torn down.
I know exactly what happened.
Yeah, me too.
Chad King looks at you and goes, "What happened?"
Well, I guess I don't know what happened. I because I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Some people, I turn to Chad, we've been given a gift. Some people just can't handle that kind of power. I should let you know, and I want you to listen to me, that from this tape forward, if you want to live, you live at night. Only at night. The day, the sun, you'll end up like that.
Chad walks to the window. It's still full night, but he puts his hand against the window, and you see it kind of dawn on him that maybe his friend did this to himself. That's what you've told him. And you can see that maybe somewhere Chad is contemplating it himself.
I walk up to him. Jared, in the world, is there, because I made this guy a vampire, is there like in the way that like Blood Bond puts a sort of like war point, is there any sort of like emotional, like, do I feel that this guy, am I connected to this guy because I made him?
You're connected, but you're not strongly connected yet. The initial sip might give you, I almost wouldn't even let you have extra dice, right, to interact with him. Basically, your blood managed to revive him from death, but you don't really have a really strong empathic link yet. But maybe,
Okay.
What are you trying to do?
All right, I just walk over to him and I'm like, I see what you're thinking. That it might be too much to bear. It wasn't for him. I understand that. I understand it for you because I didn't give you a choice. And so it's your choice. With what you're gonna do right now. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that this is easy. But you can survive.
And don't worry, buddy. If you want,
And I take out my little sword.
we can end it for you right now.
Fuck it. I'm a vampire now.
Out of sight.
Cue the hue. Cue the hue.
That is where we cue the credits. Wow, what an insane session. I wanted it to be a downtime session, but we went with what was happening, and that was not a downtime session. I don't want to. I think Curtis and Miles have had their scenes. I want to know, Jen Brown. It was a little uneven tonight. Although I would argue that actions that you took caused all of this. So, is there any last thing that Jen Brown's doing before we close down for the evening? Before we close our book for the evening?
I mean, I said I called Curtis. I'm guessing he didn't pick up though.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
looks like he was a little busy.
No, it's okay.
I was busy. Maybe at that moment I'd be like, ooh, awkward.
We're screaming at each other in like beast form.
Right.
Yeah.
Flecks of blood everywhere.
I think I would just be trying desperately to contact Curtis, and that's about all I would be doing.
Okay. Well, then we'll leave it there. We'll leave it with the phone buzzing in the pocket as the three vamps stand in the apartment with the burnt husk of a man.
Can I ask a question?
You certainly can.
Between this moment and the end of the session, is there a night or two that passes?
I think there can be. If people want to play for a little bit longer,
I don't need to play for. I don't need to play for any longer. If you'll let me do this, that's fine. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, is everybody else okay with it? What is Miles going to do?
That will happen.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Kind of scared, but okay.
At one point, Jen Brown gets into her little office or little residential suite, and she sees a little note that says "Strike 2."
And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Surprised I didn't say traitor with an 8.
No.
Look, there's plenty of stuff we can do next time. What an insane session. The game is just full PvP now. Here's something that's good about that. Vampire does that very well. So we're going to allow that to happen. It might mean people are in and out of scenes. Sometimes it might be a little uneven, but I think it's going to work with these players. We have very special players here. Please give them a digital round of applause. Ross Bryant, Thomas Middleditch, and Ashley Burch. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this. I mean, it really was anarchy.
Yeah.
Again.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
Yes. It's all RP, guys. Let's leave the frenzy here in the interspace. Woo! People loved it, though. I'm sure of it. Okay. Yes. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to say good night to my players until next week when things will undoubtedly get even fucking more batshit. Thank you again. Follow them on all their socials. Ross, Ashley, and Thomas. Find out what they're doing because they're always doing really cool, fun stuff. Good night, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. So, so that was chapter 28. All right. Heads up, the fireworks were because the Lakers just won the NBA championships. Congratulations, Lakers. I would say that our team had a different kind of night, but congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers. And let's do this. This Tuesday, 7 p.m. Oh, by the way, you can send questions or comments if you'd like. I have time for those. This Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, it's time for Coven, our classic Call of Cthulhu 1920s campaign featuring 3 comedians, my wife and her 2 very close friends. If you haven't watched it yet, please check out Coven because it's unique. And these guys bring a unique energy because they've really never played role-playing games before. But in a lot of ways, they're better than you and your friends are at playing role-playing games because they are such incredible communicators and so quick and funny. And let's see here. Yes. Okay, I wanted to talk about this. SOBs. We're going to do questions or whatever in a minute if anybody has any. But I wanted to tell you that our secret storyteller, Brian, one of our producers, has produced a project that we just wanted to let you know about. It's a bit more political than the stuff we do here, but I think that you will like it. It's a radio play written by Tim Robbins featuring Jack Black, Isla Fisher, Alfre Woodard, Patton Oswalt, Ted Levine, Ray Wise. It has an mind-blowing cast. Carrie Kinney, Silver, Haley Joel Osment is in it. It's called Bobo Supreme. And it's about it's a musical comedy. It's about a narcissistic maniacal president who's gone completely off the rails. I know it's unbelievable. I don't know where they got the idea. It's like a very, I don't know what inspired it. And the craziest thing about it is that the first episode, which is out now, Bobo Supreme, Bobbo Supreme, the first episode is about a president who won't condemn a militia group that has just taken over the Michigan Capitol. And this was written before that kind of shit was actually happening. So that's how good the satire is. Anyway, I listened. I thought it was really, really unhinged in the best way. Like, it's like just frantic insanity, but it does relieve stress because it's just always good to know when crazy things are happening out in the world that some people get it, right? And they are able to express it by being funny and through their art. So check out Bobo Supreme. I think Brian is going to put the link in our chat, and you can check it out there. Now, I have time if anybody has any questions or comments. If not, I'll go into the credits. Will scenes and remorse rolls be kept track of in the future? Yeah, Goonie Bones. So they will be kept track of. And my feeling is like, I kind of liked making the downtime. I really envisioned doing like these downtime chapters where we kind of would deal with a lot of that business, XP, stains, remorse, because you can see our players are very intensely into RP. And so sometimes, I don't want to interrupt to say, oh, stains work this way and you need to stop and that's giving you a stain. But yes. And I'll also say that, I really believe in playing games with the rules as written. But as much as I know about it running Vampire, I still forget things. It's a big book with a lot of rules. And I'm sure when you play your games at home, sometimes you're like, oh, yeah. But you can always do like I did tonight and just come in later and go, that's come back to bite you now. You're feeling, it took a little time, but you're feeling remorse about it now. So, yeah, I'm happy with how that worked out. But we will keep a little closer track of them in the future. Players hang out much before or after the scheduled game? Well, the players are friends, and they've played in a lot of other games. And Thomas and Ross have performed a lot of improv together. And Ashley has been in, all kinds of professional situations with some of our players. Humphrey Carr, who we mentioned earlier, works with Ashley right now as a writer, and she's an actor on Mythic Quest. So these guys know each other pretty well. Of course, quarantine has made it tough to hang out together, but we can't wait for things to kind of open up even a little bit more so we can all get together more often. How do you handle PvP without the players hating each other? Well, it's tough, right? And I think you need really great special players, and it's also, I asked tonight before I gave, Ashley, before I said, Ashley, yes, you can have a meeting about Thomas's character with Ross. I asked Thomas if that was okay. And then he was like, well, can I have that power and ability? And I had to make the call that, yes, you can. But these guys are so used to acting, improvising, that they know that it's the character, it's all RP, it's all left in the game. It's just gaming. I think it's interesting gaming. I haven't really played a Chronicle or game quite like this before. How's your 31 for throw-in? Oh, so when I posted those, I didn't realize that they were like a challenge that I had to actually watch all of them. A lot of them are movies I've watched before. Really, I just wanted to kind of tell people what I think the hottest, best horror movies are. Oh, hey, Will. This is Will Potsworth, by the way, who does all of our incredible art here on Stream of Blood. But I watched, so I'm watching new movies I hadn't seen before. One that you recommended, I watched Dead and Buried. I watched Rabid, the David Cronenberg movie Rabid. I watched Kronos again. That was on my list. I watched a movie called The Greasy Strangler, which was tough. I didn't quite like it, and it didn't feel Halloween to me. Tonight I'm thinking about Return of the Living Dead, maybe? I probably won't make 31, but I'm going to do a lot of them. And this is my favorite time of the year. Oh, and I finished a horror novel I highly recommend called When Darkness Loves Us. When Darkness Loves Us by Elizabeth Engstrom. That was really quite troubling, but very good, very well written, and kind of a lost horror novel. I could go on about this stuff for hours and hours, and I just don't have the time tonight. How much danger are the players in after night? Well, I don't know. Because at first I was like, the reason I kept asking Thomas whether he's telling Chad King where he's at was because if Chad King gets away, then he knows where the haven is of all these anarchs. But it looks like they've managed that. They've put that Tempest back in the teapot for now. So, but they're in huge trouble because their rebellion meter is off the charts now. I mean, like, I think that I went ahead and said something bad was happening, right? Because they got their rebellion to 9 because they made a bunch of cops disappear. And now they had a fight and Curtis went full feral in a Target parking lot. So, yeah, it's not good, man. The hunters or the Camarilla or someone are coming down on them very, very soon. Don't tell them I said this, but, usually in our downtime chapters, we would decide what's happening next, what mission they want to go on. I think the mission is coming to them next week. So be sure to tune in for that. Enoch. Will Potworth is our official artist, but your art is highly desirable. We would love to see your art. And the way to submit it is to just send it to our email, streamofblood@gmail.com. And we will, it's Stream of Blood role-playing. That's Clint, our secret storyteller. streamofbloodroleplaying@gmail.com. And, I'll say this at least. No matter what, it gets used, no matter what. Like, even if you did, like, stick figure with, like, drops of blood coming out of its mouth and you just wrote in backwards scroll Curtis at the top, that shit's at least going on the Instagram. We might not pop it up during the stream, but yes, thank you, Clancy. All right, I'm going to do our credits and get out of here. The theme for Vampires of Pittsburgh, Get Pink 2, Get Pinker, is by Axel Kazis Taylor. Please hear more of their music on SoundCloud. In-game artwork by Will Pottorff, Pottorff. Check him out on Instagram and at willpottorff.com. Ross Bryant, our player who plays Curtis, also does some of our in-game artwork, and you can find him on Instagram at RossBB. The Stream of Blood logo was created by Garrett Ross. We have a fantastic social media person named Megan Arch who makes sure you know what's going on, gets our schedules up, helps us figure out all these emotes and things that happen with Twitch. I want to thank her. And I, of course, want to thank my incredible producers, Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks, who, without this, we wouldn't be able to put all this together. They kind of make all the trains run. I think that's everything. Thanks for tuning in. Get pink. Bye-bye.